Alright, so we did get our mana fixed with the Shadow Pass there. So this seems very keepable. I think I'll hold off on playing Lantern of the Lost immediately because it has an enter battlefield to just exile a card from target card from a graveyard. We did trim out all the double cost requirements, but I think we'll just use this to go grab ourselves a blue source and pass it back. The reason why I wanted to grab a blue source is because we're running more blue cards than other colors. Let's see, what does this do? Exile target card from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Has all abilities of all creatures exiled with it. I think we'll just hold up the counter spell against the opponent. Okay, nothing played from our opponent's side. I think we'll just still hold up the counterspell, because they might be doing the same to us. Riveting gameplay of land pass from both of our me and my opponent. Okay, yeah, we will counterspell that. And then during our turn, we can play the wizard and get a trigger with the lantern. So play our land, play our wizard, and play our lantern. And that gets rid of the Geist. So we've now prevented the crawler from exiling it to get the body. We also made it so that way they also could just use it for its own exile ability to create 2 tokens. Let's see. Nebelgast. Oh, that's right. It's the big body that can tap things. Alright, we'll just activate the blood and sacrifice our extra land, or to draw another land. Let's see, how does this work? Enters the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. And in the graveyard, you can disturb it back, and then each upkeep you'll get a copy of it. So what we'll do is we'll play this on our wizard. And we will go ahead and imprison the Beguiler, preventing it from being aggressive, as well as forcing it to only be used for the tap-down function right now. But next turn, we can actually just pay the mana to exile it, get ourselves a blood token. Okay, I'm just tapping down one of our things. To be honest, I forgot to attack with our 3/2 because they only had the 1/2 there. Thank you very much, Bird. Okay, so opponent's actually using an imprison on our wizard. Oh, that's just the perfect draw. Because we can return this back to our hand. So they can't use the exile function now. This now sits very safe in our hand. We'll still go ahead and exile their creature. So that way they don't have the ability to draw to do the same kind of thing we did. And just get aggressive. Since the opponent still doesn't have any creatures in their graveyard, this still is just a 1/2 body that doesn't do anything. Alright, Thirst from Discovery from our opponent to draw cards. And if they discard a basic land, they only have to discard 1 card. Otherwise, they'll have to discard 2. And if they put anything in the graveyard that has abilities, we can always just sacrifice our Lantern here to get rid of them. Let's see, what did they discard? 2 washaways, which are counters target spell that wasn't cast from the hand. When they play it for the 3 mana to just counter a spell. Let's see, play the Rallier. Rallier is fine. So, can't attack alone. Whenever it attacks, you untap target creature. Oh, thanks for following, Bird. Our opponent doesn't have anything that they can do, so we will just take the trade. Let's see. I think our better play is to play the Wizard, and then play Fear of Death. Get ourselves more tokens, make it so that way their creature can't really protect them. Or be aggressive. The best it is now is just a blocker for soaking damage. Well, thanks for joining us, Bird. Let's see, yeah, I'll probably be on for a PR since I only just started. If you do decide to come back today, if not, hopefully see you whenever the next time we're on. Alright, and opponent scoops it up. Alright, I think this one's pretty keepable. We just have to draw a land and we'll be in a very good spot. I think we'll just go ahead and... I think we'll start with the pass, actually, instead of going for the island. Try to get the turn 2 Storm Drake, or Storm Chaser Drake down. Alright, opponent responds with a 2/3 menace creature. I don't think it matters which land we play first. So we'll play the island. Go for our Lantern Bearer. And our Flame Breather. And we'll just start getting aggressive in the air. Now, when we play this Imprisonment on the opponent's creature, we should get a trigger from our Flame Breather to deal a point of damage to them. If they attack with the Villager, we just take the 2 because it does have Menace. And I'd rather tie that creature up with our enchantment. Okay, so Sigarda's Imprisonment. That'll prevent the creature from attacking or blocking. And we get some pressure on. Oh, Vampire's Vengeance. This is a new card. So it deals 2 damage to each non-vampire creature. Create a blood token. I didn't actually see any of these go around, so I forgot that that was a card. Let's see. I think we'll just go for the Geist here. Getting the 3/3 body is going to be really solid. Okay, before this creature can transform, I think we're going to have to exile it with the enchantment's function. See, what all does this do? Enchant creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a vampire, otherwise it gets -2/-2. That is pretty potent there. Let's see. I think we'll go for the Weary Prisoner to give ourselves a big blocker. And just hold back the 1/3 on defense. This way we have the possibility of actually double blocking to kill their menace creature. Okay, so they decided to equip the ceremonial knife over there. And they're going to use the wedding invitation to make that unblockable and gain lifelink. We will take the double block to kill the villager in this sense. It does give him a few blood tokens, but I think that's manageable. We can't really afford to play that right now. I think what we do is we get rid of... Let's see, we're looking at 9 damage on board. If we get rid of this Bloodseeker, they don't have a whole lot that they can do with things on board. And next turn, we're looking at lethal. If they don't have any answers. Because we can replay this Lantern Bearer out of our graveyard. And it gives a creature +1/+1 in flying. Okay. That would be game. Because we put this on our creature. It now has flying. And we swing it. Oh, we actually got our Vengeful Victim in our starting hand. Fortunately, we didn't draw any other creatures, but this could be very big. When we play it out on turn 2, we'll probably just hold it out as a defender to prevent our opponent from wanting to attack with anything. But then again, we may just quickly snap it onto our Lantern Bearer. We'll attack in first, see if our opponent has any tricks. I seem to have some kind of instant speed spell. Okay, so 2 mana or 1 mana. Alright. We don't really have a whole lot that we can do this turn. But I guess we could play Fear of Death on their creature. Since this mills us 2 cards, it does make it so that way it will have no power. And just turning it permanently into a mana ramp style card for the opponent. But I think our better bet is just to attack with what we have. Hold up Symphony Essence. Because if we let that flip, the opponent's going to probably try to play the biggest card they have in their hand. I said Symphony, I meant Siphon. Siphon Essence. So they have up to 6 mana to play their cards, so I don't think they don't... Oh wow, they play a... I was not expecting a vehicle of all things. We will counterspell that. We're gonna go for our Whispering Wizard over playing this out from our graveyard. So that way we can create ourselves a bunch of flying token value. still think this is a very solid 1-drop. Entering battlefield, dealing a damage to your opponent, and then you get a blood token. Oh, we got our own copy, but unfortunately we didn't draw our red sources yet. Let's see. I think we'll use the Sanctify to get rid of their vehicle. And we'll just hold these cards back and just attack in. I'm just wondering, do we attack with the wizard or not? I think we will go ahead and risk it. See what our opponent does. Okay, so they're going to give it the +2/+2 to trade with our wizard. We'll go ahead and play Cradle of Safety over... We'll play the Cradle of Safety just to get the extra damage in, get the extra token trigger. Probably would have been better to hold on to the Cradle of Safety because I just remembered that he can only trigger once per turn. I made that mistake. Because if we draw land now, it would have been better to have that as a backup to protecting our creature when we use this. They're definitely holding up mana for something. So let's play our copy. Put the Fear of Death. For drafting, I see the white-blue as just being a very strong color combination because of how these Disturbed cards are working. Alright, opponent scoops it up. Okay, I think we can keep this. Got that for turn 2. These are great turn 3s. We can get a red source. Playing this before these is always great. We'll start off playing our white source. What's this do? Deals combat damage to your player, draw a card. Oh joy. We're gonna play this. We'll accept that we're gonna be losing it in the trade with this creature, but we will not give them free draw. Unholy Efficient Vigilance. You can spend 5 to give him a +1/+1 counter. Okay, so potential late game threat. What does this do? Enters battlefield on your control. This creature gets +1/+1 until on the turn. A 1/1 white spirit token. Okay. Just to make sure our opponent doesn't get in with that cat, we're going to imprison it. And we're going to pass the turn. The reason I'm so paranoid about this cat is just attacking and getting draw is just very strong value. And since they put this enchantment on it, that whenever a creature enters battlefield under your control, gets +1/+1 until on the turn. It had the potential of becoming a bit of a threat. Let's see, grab our red source. We will play our Drake this turn. Drake's not going to get in because our opponent does have the little 1/1 flying token. Let's see. Okay, opponent's going to start building up their efficient. Let's see, when this dies, you may search your library for a card in which thrown off. We'll trade off with their 1/1. This opens up the air. Now we can play this onto our Drake. This will give us a draw. And now we can attack with it and get it for 6 in the air. The Angel token's still going to stick around outside of the combat, but that's perfectly fine. Okay, opponent plays Flying Lifelink, protection from vampires. Power and toughness is equal to the number of permanents that are spirit or enchantments. We will imprison. Opponents got some kind of response from what it looks like for their 2 mana. A little worried about what it is. Alright, we'll attack with the Drake. Play our Epicure, and our opponent scooped it up. A little risky keeping this one since we don't have our blue source. But we do have imprisonment. Debating this one. I think we'll mull this. Okay, this is a much safer hand. We will keep it, but we will actually put... Do we put the Stormdrake down, or do we put the Fear of Death down? I think we'll put Stormdrake down. Rely on the Weary Prisoner to potentially get us through. We'll play out the Evolving Wilds past the turn. Okay, Lantern from our opponent. Let it resolve. Grab our red source. Lantern unfortunately does stop Weary Death from being useful, because they can exile our graveyard, and in doing so it makes it so that way the minus function on it doesn't affect our opponent's creatures unless we can restock our graveyard. We'll go ahead and attempt a Curse of Hospitality on our opponent. Because we like our opponent to be gracious hosts. The curse is really going to be good with our Weary Prisoner here, because Weary Prisoner will become a 6/6 during the nighttime, and must attack each turn if able. But a Curse of Hospitality will make it so that way it'll have trample, so it'd actually be a serious threat that they can't just chump block. Alright, so our opponent plays the Weary Mind, and they find the Singwing statue. Enters battlefield, get a blood token. Whenever you sacrifice a blood token, becomes a 3/3 artifact until end of turn. Alright. So we'll play out our prisoner. We may just not play anything next turn to get the flip on it. Oh, opponent plays a Weary Prisoner of their own, so we probably gonna have to play something. We'll go for the imprisonment on their prisoner. Make sure they stay in that prison. Unfortunately, we did miss a land drop there. Oh, opponent's got another prisoner. That's very dangerous for us. Alright, we're going to go for the Geist. Prevent them from chipping in for that 2 in the air all the time now. Okay, Falconwrath Celebrants. Very decent 5-drop. I think. We're going to attempt an attack with the Geist. See if they let it through. This will allow us to take a card from their deck to potentially play. We get a land. So from here we can play the Wizard. And pass it back, holding up Cradle of Safety. Fortunately, again, our Fear of Death is not going to be very useful as long as they have this Lantern. I'm actually kind of hoping our opponent tries to fire off a removal spell, because we have Cradle of Safety to prevent it from happening. See. Yeah, that doesn't have flash. So all we have is Cradle Safety for our playables. Let's see. Deal 4 damage to target creature. Create a number of blood tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt. We'll go for the Cradle. Prevent that from happening. But I just wanted to read it to see if what it did, because I wasn't too familiar with that card. Alright, opponent's going to attack it with their Celebrants. I'm just debating if, do we trade off our Wizard here? I think we will. As much value as the Wizard is for us, I believe we're going to want to trade it off in this sense, since we have the advantage with this hospitality going on. I want to make sure to get the attacks in first. Offer the trade with the Wandering Eye for the 1/1. If they don't take it, we get. I think we get 2 triggers of hospitality. I'm not sure. Let's see. Whenever attacking. Okay, so they choose to take the damage. We'll just see. Yeah, we get 2 triggers because it's based off number of things that hit. We steal their counterspell. It's a little dangerous to let the Weary Prisoner potentially attack us, so we're going to put the Fear of Death on something. We'll put Fear of Death on the Wandering Eye. And we will go ahead and exile this Weary Prisoner, so that way they don't have the possibility of freeing it. Now, our opponent can just sacrifice this artifact, like we mentioned earlier, to make the enchantment do nothing. But I think that was our better play. Cards we lost from the mill was Alchemist Retrieval and another Imprisonment. But we have 4 Imprisonments in our deck, so losing one of them's not the worst. Scattered Thoughts, look at top 4 cards of your library, put 2 of those cards into your hand, rest into your graveyard. Unfortunately, this Curse of Hospitality hasn't been giving us much out of our opponent's deck to play with. just been giving us lands. Let's see. So they milled a Skywarp Scab. Enters battlefield. Exile 2 creature cards from a graveyard if you do draw a card. And another Scattered Thoughts. Okay. Alright, that's solid, because we can actually do this. We can sacrifice, discard. Since they're tapped out, they can't exile it from our graveyard. Exile it from our graveyard. And... oh no, I put it on the wrong card. I put it on the wrong card. That was supposed to go onto the the Blessed Geist. Oh no. Oh, I feel like such an idiot. Okay, opponent forgot it has trample, so we still get our 2 triggers. Spell cost 1 less. Okay, so that's the counter spell, and we have the horror that we can't cast. Alright, we're gonna just go ahead and exile the graveyards ourselves. Land pass. Oh man, I feel so dumb. That was a big punt. Huge punt, because we'd have our opponent down an extra 4 life. We would have stolen another card out of the deck that we could have potentially played. Oh. Attendance, deals 1 damage, deals 1 damage to any target. That's actually very scary. We don't have an answer for that. I'm going to attack in the air. Potentially find something out of our opponent's deck we can play. Again, it just gives us lands. Destroy this, because we can. Deny them a draw ability. Luckily, they only have enough mana to do that twice. So they don't have the ability to just shoot our creature out of the air. And we're forcing our opponent to always have to play something because they can't let our Weary Prisoner attack, especially with that enchantment on it. Our opponent would be dead if I didn't misplay. I had every intent to put it on the Geist, but for some reason when the options came up, I accidentally clicked the Prisoner. Okay, I like this hand. So, start off with our islands. We're going to go for the Storm Drake. Try to keep the opponent holding the creature back instead of attacking. If they attack, we just take it anyways. I think we'll go for the Curse of Hospitality on our opponent. I don't like that cat. Alright, go ahead and curse our opponent. We're going to do no attacks. If the cat attacks, we unfortunately have to take it. They'll get a free draw. Next turn, I'm debating whether we use the imprisonment to prevent the bearer from attacking or blocking, and then just swing in, see what we can get out of the curse. We can steal a land from our opponent. We just play their land. I'm curious about the wording on this. if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. Oh, that means actually if you end up putting out one of those enchantments onto a creature from the graveyard, if for some reason it goes back to your hand, you don't lose the card. Alright, we'll take the hit. What does the opponent play? 2/3 lifelinker. Alright, we will, before we do anything, we'll just attack, see what we get out of our opponent's deck. Actually, we get a very solid body, so we will play that out. And we'll hold up the blue mana and pass turn. So we can either use Cradle of Safety or Alchemist Retrieval. Really, you're going to attack with the cat? Alright. Block cat. What's the opponent do? Opponent's going to go for their Cradle of Safety. Okay, that just turns it into a trade. But I think what we'll do is we'll attempt to bounce. No, because they have another Cradle of Safety, bounce won't be worthwhile. We'll let it resolve. See what the opponent does. Alright, it's just a trade. We're fine with that. Three defender, whenever enchantment enters battlefield under your control, can attack as though it didn't have defender. Alright. So we attack our opponent first. First and foremost, we attack our opponent. We got a land. Perfect. Opponent's also using these lands that help us identify if it's theirs or not, which is helpful. Let's see. Go. Play a Vengeful Victim. And we'll put the Fear of Death on their spirit. Passing turn. We're making it so where the opponent really can't attack in by playing I always have a hard time pronouncing this. Dorothea. Alright. It gets +2/+2 if damage would be... Oh, okay. So they're playing out the creature from the graveyard. Make that larger. We will... We will take the hit. No blocks. See, put the imprisonment on the Lantern Bearer. We'll just only attack in with the Drake. Hold victim back for defense one more turn. Oh, opponent has green in their deck. Alright. Pass the turn. Holding up Cradle of Safety and Retrieval here. Let's see, what does this do? As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a token. Okay, that's pretty solid. Opponent's turn. They're going to attack with that. We're going to use our Retrieval to put that back in their hand. That's going to make them lose the enchantment permanently. We'll go ahead and get our attacks in. see. So we got the ramp creature. Play their planes. Playing their creature seems pretty good. Tap it like so. Then we will play Sanctify, get rid of their enchantment. And we're gonna hold up. Oh, alright. Punt scoops it up. I say we're. Alright, and this seems pretty decent to keep. I procure early with a Drake. Answer the graveyards. Very aggressive hand for the first 2 turns. We'll have to see what we draw to know if we can keep up the aggression or have the control spells. Fortunately, it looks like we're just drawing lands. Okay, we'll just hit that with Imprison, just that way we can just keep the aggression up. Does the opponent have a removal spell? That'd be unfortunate. Okay, so they imprison our Drake. We really don't have an answer to that. We'll play out a Lantern that we can exile at any time. And we'll hit and pass. Reason why I'm not using the Blood Vial right now is I want to make it sure to use it at the end of our opponent's turn. Let's see. Death Touch. 2/3. Enters the battlefield. Exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard if it's a creature card. Lose 2, gain 2. Got it. No cards in graveyards at the moment. We will activate our Blood Vial, discarding a land. Okay, that's a good draw. We'll go ahead and activate this now, just to get the extra draw. Solid draw. Play our Vengeful Victim. And we'll hold up the counterspell. Now this does only counter creature and planeswalker spells. It looks like our opponent's thinking about just exiling our Drake. If they do, that's a little unfortunate, because we do have cards that could potentially free it. Opponent just passed turn. We actually do have the card that can save our creature, but I think that might be a cost activate. I'm not sure, so I don't think we'll have the timing to properly save our own creature. We'll go Lantern Bearer and just pass the turn. Okay, opponent chose not to activate anything. Let's see. Defending, transform, concurrence as a sorcery. When transforms, target opponent reveals their hand. We'll go for the counterspell. Because they're gonna make us discard a card anyways. Alright, now opponent doesn't have enough mana. Oh, okay, they got their 5th land. I was gonna say, the opponent didn't have 5 lands in play for a moment there. We'll go ahead and attack in. Put some pressure on the opponent. Decide to give up our Dorothea. we're gonna hold the land as a discard card for this blood vial. Alright, they're gonna attempt to activate prison now, which means we can return this back to our hand. They do get their blood token because the effect was already put on the stack, but the we managed to protect our creature. What does this do? +2/+2 indestructible until next turn. All right, that's fine. Panic bystander when bystander or another creature you control dies, you gain 1 life. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, transform it. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. We have enough mana that we can use Cradle of Safety and Aretha already, so we will discard draw. Drew another land still. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to tap it like that. Put this on the Lantern Bearer. We'll tack in for 5 in the air. And since we're already representing lethal in the air, we're just going to pass it back, holding up Cradle of Safety, protect our Lantern Bearer. Circling Confinement. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature. Okay, that's fine. Alright, they chose their target. We protect it. Do they have another removal spell? They do not. So yeah, we managed to get to the 7. So that means we'll get our 6 packs and 200 gems. Just a quick show what deck actually managed to make it. So, this is what we ended up running. The Alchemist Retrieval, Light Bearer, Epicure, Lantern, Sanctify, Cradle Safety, Fear of Death, Storm Chaser Drakes. Very solid 2-drop. Even if you're not using it for the targeted draw, just the 2-drop 2/1 flyer. Strong, aggressive creature. Flame Breathers became relevant a couple of times. Dorothea. As you saw in the last match, came in clutch, giving us that pressure in the air. The Imprisonments, very strong board control. Just 1 Siphon Essence. 1 Thirst for Discovery, which we actually never drew in all the games. Curse of Hospitality actually came in useful in a couple games. Wandering Mind. Mirror Hall Mimic. Didn't perform as game-breaking as I was hoping, but still managed to win us a game. And partially because we used it on the Whispering Wizard to give ourselves extra creature token whenever we were casting stuff. Weary Prisoner, I think, is a card that you should definitely be careful of. I think this one actually is a very solid 4-drop. And if you actually get this with Curse of Hospitality, it makes these very dangerous. And we also running the Heron Blessed Geist. I always have a hard time saying this one's name, just because of the type of bird that is. I'm saying bird because heron is the birds that you see in the background. The deck actually performed pretty well. I definitely would say that the MVP of it was a mix of the Storm Chaser Drake and the Imprisonments, because the Imprisonments just tying down so many cards and then being able to exile them off the board later, with the blood tokens actually becoming relevant draws.
Thank you for watching the video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more content. If you'd like to join me while I stream, you can find me on Twitch, the link below. I hope to see you again in the next video, and have a nice one.